not unheard of that the first time I speak out loud in a day is when I turn these recordings on. Although that was not the case today, just was unusually hoarse when I was testing things out. Seems to have passed. I suspect a nap was to blame. Where are we at? If one had chosen to entrap the Sultana in a death-like sleep rather than slay her, then one must surely also know a means to rouse her from said state. There must be an antidote to this poison. Our target is Marielle, the Sultana's former lady-in-waiting, a woman of Midlander heritage. I'm told the two of you have met. Our sources indicate that she left the palace shortly after the incident and quietly rejoined. Hello. It is 11 o'clock. The dwindling population of the Silver Bazaar. I suggest we begin by questioning the market's residents and confirm that Marielle is still in hiding there. Who is Marielle again? It's been a long time in raw hours and longer in real world. I don't know why. It's a real world time. It's a very strange place. I'm sure we'll recognize her. Let's see. Yeah, why don't we see this together? Because once again, it's just been so long since we were here. The Spires of Ul'dah could be a little more impressive, probably. It has a little bit of a Disneyland size feel there. I'm pretty sure that I am the size of that entire tower there. Or maybe not, it's a little hard to tell, I guess. Let's get up close and try to judge. Yeah, I think distance and perspective are doing a lot of work here. It kind of looks like you might be able to store me in that tube like it were some kind of Catboy silo, but I'm not so sure that it could be used, to hold a dinner party in. That'd be really cool to see a redesign of that main world, but it does its work. It looks good in the distance. It looks fine close up, just a little Tinker Toy here. It is not worthwhile to... Suspension of disbelief is an essential part of these things. Slavish devotion to realism is what gets us bizarre, awful, all 3D green screen movies where there's like realism but no reality at all. As compared to the enduring strangeness of 80s special effects with all their rubber and corn syrup gore. Certainly don't look real, but they do look like things that exist. The artifice is a style. And we should love that in games just as we do in movies. Who cares if the oranges explode when you shoot them? They should pop in a charming way. Anyway. Spotted Meadow. Hello there. What, Mickey's not good enough for you? Do I know any of the returning residents? Gods, don't tell me they're starting to come back. My masters will not be pleased to hear this. But I don't actually quite understand what we're doing here. Marielle's the Sultana's lady-in-waiting. Yeah, okay, we do know her. Hiding in the Silver Bazaar. Confirm the reclusive poisoner's whereabouts. Tadru excitedly explains there's a significant development in the search for the Sultana. Waking sands within the Sultana is mostly being kept in a poison-induced sleep. Prudent. Okay, I still don't really know why. Wait, is there actually a script review in there? No, it's link quest in chat. That would have been too cool. Kikipu. I guess if it's Tataru, then it's Kikipu. And what brings you to our lonely little hamlet? I believe the arrival of your entourage just about doubled our population. Looking for Marielle, you say? If you're hoping to lure her back to Ul'dah, you may as well give up now. The girl's done with city life. Anything else to say? I think that they usually, just repeat themselves when it's quests of this kind. seems to be how that's laid out, technically. It's Danielle. Marielle, aye, she's here. Left the city for good, she says. Barely leaves her house, though. It's the one closest to the market entrance. Are we gonna see a sleeping beauty? A sleeping... The one closest to the market entrance, but this town is a circle. Which... Is it this one? This one? Ah! We did it. We did it. Maybe thinking that this is thinking of this as a town at all is the wrong model, and it is just a market. Did he change back into his other clothes? No, he's still wearing a shirt, so this must be his new clothes.
You are Meriel, the Sultana's former lady-in-waiting?
Wow. You'll never take me alive.
Pray excuse me.
I think you know a thing or two. Whoa. Got some good body language going on there. The kind of forward posture. I wonder if that's camera work or my imagination, or if it really is some other animation set. Yeah, he looks pretty upright now.
We will have the truth from you, girl.
Ooh. Go on, Robin. Seems like there should be music here. We didn't turn it off, did we? I'm pretty sure I've heard music.
It
Ooh.
would be better coming from me.
Hello, Lolorito. It must be at 5, I think. I should
Lolorito.
crank it.
You'd best talk fast.
Ooh. That's right.
As
Intimidate
you know,
the...
Teleji Adeleji's Cartano reclamation bill was no more than a facade. A means to get his grubby little hands on that Allagan monstrosity Omega. When he learned of Nanamo's intention to abdicate, however, he was forced to amend his plans. Suddenly, assassination seemed the most promising way to further his ambitions.
When was Omega? Oh, Omega is Stormblood.
Had discovered
Okay, so a
a
long
maid
time from now.
in whose veins ran the blood of House Thorn. A new, more pliable puppet to sit the throne. 'Twould have caused an uproar, of course, but few could have contested her claim. 'Twas plain that Teleji's wild machinations had outgrown our ability to control them. So I decided to usurp his scheme and left the fool to seal his own demise.
So, there was an assassination going
And
on.
what of Nanamo?
This dude learned about it.
Oh, I have no desire to harm her grace. 'Twould profit me little to destabilize our government. Thus did I employ young Mariel here to administer a potent sleeping potion in place of a poison.
And Lolorito subverted it, but made it look like it had happened. I don't know if this is a sane
You
plan,
should know, General,
but
that your dear
it's certainly
friend Ilberd was fully aware of my plan.
devious, if not
I
clever.
had him lie about the assassination as a means to prime your rage against Teleji. We weren't entirely sure how you would react, but things went rather better than expected.
Poor Rauban. This is the ultimate pawn.
Conniving little worm. You had your claws in the Crystal Braves before their first recruit had sworn to serve.
But of course, when a new game begins, 'tis only prudent to have a piece on the board. Ilberd was mine.
Emotionally prepared for the whole
A significant
fiasco.
portion of the Braves' initial endowment was also mine. With such large sums moving about, 'twas a rather trifling matter to disguise my own contribution.
Alphino's mad.
I secured his services with a promise to support his cause once my authority had been solidified. I swear, the man thinks of naught but prizing Alamigo from the grasp of the Empire.
Sure, Lolorito seems like a very faithful contractarian.
Unlike you, General, the poor fellow seems quite unable to forsake the land of his forefathers.
Fucking owned.
That's why he called you a
Roban
traitor to your
owned.
people and a disgrace to your homeland, amongst other things. What was it he always compared you to? Oh, yes, an overgrown lapdog begging for scraps at the Sultana's table.
Why
Oh,
wouldn't
how
you
we laughed.
expect Roban to murder you right now?
Alas, Ilbird's entertaining little outbursts eventually gave way to wearisome tirades, and the zealous brute became rather unruly. I had no wish to see you executed, you understand, but he would not take no for an answer. Rest assured, his employment with me has long since ended.
We've actually got reason to believe that. It sounded like Roban had actually been kidnapped
Which
from where he
brings
was
us
being
nearly
held.
to the present.
I
Once
almost
again,
thought it was like a throwaway line, but as so
you and
often,
the Sultana
there's the
are
callback.
alive. We have one corpse and one fugitive, and preparations have been made to restore your good name. Shall we cry quits and start again with a blank ledger?
Oh boy, you're asking a
Hells
lot.
we will. Do you honestly expect me to forgive and forget? After all you've done? You're guilty of high treason!
Whomst amongst us has not destabilized a state or two in his time.
Or have you forgotten your own crime in executing Teledji Adeledji without trial?
The dude
Though
was
you
an
acted out of
oligarch.
loyalty
He
to
had
the
no
Sultana,
rights.
Such deeds are in violation of both the word and spirit of the law.
Dude, don't let them wrap you in legal loops here, Robe. What? We've killed so many people. We've killed so many people because they were standing in the wrong place. Don't give the rich guy more rights than you gave all of his employees. We've killed so many people. And now we stint? Take
This
the
potion will wake the
flask.
Sultana from her slumber.
An Estus
Consider it
flask.
A gesture of conciliation. You will find her grace resting comfortably within her private chambers. Should you doubt my word, I shall willingly accompany you to the palace as your hostage.
Oh wow, Omega is not just a boss, it is a character. I won't read any more about that, but that's intriguing. Hey, what if he just gave you a poison and she is asleep, but he's gonna have you poison
I like
her?
not your motives, Lolorito. But you saved the Sultana's life, and for that, you have my gratitude.
Rauban Aldin, you are hereby reinstated as General of the Immortal Flames. The citizens
With
of
all
Ul'dah
ceremony,
shall
I
once
guess.
more be united under Nanamo Ulnamo, and together we shall usher in a new age of prosperity.
Imagine if something like this happened in the United States, how completely insane the American people would go. That someone is dead and then not dead. People would be saying that they were a clone for 100 years. They're saying that about everyone in the government anyway. Oh, look at those stars. Stars burn so bright, much better than neon light. A long way from anywhere. That we should be isolated. Alright, well, I guess we're just gonna trust that motherfucker. I'm sure we're not. This game never... Anytime I'm being like, oh, I guess we're gonna be an idiot, or I guess they just forgot about that, they haven't. You had killed the one you served. Pray excuse my mutterings. I was reminded of a line from an old poem. By the 12, I feared Lord Lolorito's arrival would herald another bloodbath. Little did I suspect that he of all people would gift us the means to rouse... Woof, excuse me. To rouse the Sultana. Did your line change there, Yugiri? Nope. Awakening in Ul'dah. Alphinaud would see this dark chapter in Ul'dah's history brought to a close. Shall we make our way to Ul'dah? I imagine Bartholomew has been instructed to admit us. Do you think the music in Ul'dah will have changed? Being in a new part of NG+, I kinda doubt it. You have to go to the Royal Chamber, right? But it's night, and the night music is nice, so we should be fine. I just love that clean cut so much, you know. Well, not quite clean, really. I should unpause it during the blackness, so I always kind of hold it a half second or so too long. But it's close enough to being clean that I think that we can live with that. These are the prisoners from the disturbance. This dude is fucking fierce. Serious drag energy, Yugiri. I hope Lord Lolorito's potion is as effective as he claims. It would appear that the Syndicate has moved swiftly to clear our names. Bartholomew, for one, does not seem remotely surprised by our presence here. Bart is in on it. Flame General Raban mentioned you might be coming. Please, this way, if you will. Oh, you're gonna turn the music up. Whoops. Good night, moon. That's right. Dose her up. Lolorito's been a very faithful actor so far. I'm sure you're not gonna just transform her into some primal nightmare. I'm sure it wasn't a mind control draft. Oh, we're getting the Opta music. It's too low to hear. Damn it.
Having the longest dream.
'Tis time to wake up, Your Grace. Another day begins in Thanalan, and the sun blazes bright upon the sands.
Man, the half mantle is so cool. God damn it, Raban.
Her Grace is awoken. The palace physician assures me she's none the worse for her slumber. I believe Her Grace will soon resume her plans to place the government of Ul'dah into the hands of its citizens. Whatever path she chooses to take, I shall walk it with her. And we shall tread slowly, lest the nation be unsettled in our wake.
keeping quiet so we can crank the volume on
Her
this.
Grace's compassion is a shining beacon to us all. But what our city truly thrives upon is competition. 'Tis in the struggle against our rivals that opportunities are seized and fortunes made. And with the Empire on the offensive once more, now would hardly seem the time to turn our system of government upon its head.
Are you privy to new intelligence, my lord?
Alright, I've engineered a situation to prevent that eventuality. Although, honestly, dude, liberal democracy.
What was the name of that enormous Imperial warship which met its end in Mordona? Wait, I have it. The Agrias. Yes, well, 'twould appear that the Garleans have been hard at work on another such vessel.
Whoa.
How close are they to completing this ship? Is it operational?
Bad
Its maiden
news.
flight was a success, I hear. I should imagine Emperor Varys is eager to see how it performs in battle. My lords and lady, I move that it is time to repair the damage caused by Teleji Adeleji and prepare our great nation to repel the Empire once more.
"'Tis well that the Sultana has awoken. The Syndicate yet needs to put its house in order, but 'twould seem the worst of the confusion has passed. Uldar has taken control of its future.
Oh, has it?
I must do the same.
It's taking control of its future? Still seems to be
I have
pretty in the
decided to
hands of the
disband
worst
the
people.
Crystal Braves.
That didn't happen
Among
already?
the recruits, there were those who supported our order's goals and convictions with all sincerity. 'Tis my hope that these loyal men and women will choose to remain our allies in the battles to come. As for those who sided with the traitor, Ilberd, they shall be hunted down and held to account for their crimes. It is my earnest hope that they will surrender themselves peaceably when the time comes, though I think it unlikely. Ah, my all-conquering Crystal Braves. The model army meant to pave the way for a single unified Grand Company of Eorzea. That so high an ideal should be brought so low.
You tried. I mean, you could have listened a little more. There
I
was...
need not tell you how deeply the betrayal stung me. Yet I see now that it was mine own naivety and pride which allowed the Braves to fall prey to corruption. As ever, it is to your own shining example that I turn for inspiration. Like you, I mean to stand firm in the face of hardship and give mine all for the cause. Let us resume the search for our missing comrades, that we might come together to shine the light of dawn across the realm once more.
Yeah, that won't be a problem. I'm pretty ready for that.
The role of Crystal Brave Commander suited me ill, and I shall play it no longer. Henceforth, I shall be no more or less than Alphino, proud member of the Scions.
Alright, you got anything to say, Barton? Beg your pardon, sign cannot permit you to enter. Of course not. I blush to speak thus of mine inner turmoil, but the fact remains there is no man alive in whom I would rather confide. Were it not for your shining example, I might never have emerged from beneath the pall of my despair. I ain't such of a much, kiddo. You sell yourself short. A brave resolution. Alphino would know how things stand at the Rising Stones. Alright, crank the music back up. That was really effectively used there, I think, and it's a shame that we were turned down. Oh, shit. God damn it. He said, still no word from Master Garland. I am assured that her grace will make a full recovery. I and Ul'dah too shall flourish once more. General Raban and his colleagues have matters well in hand, I believe. Lady Ugiri, a question, if I may. I believe your people have been keeping a close watch on the Crystal Braves. Might you know how things stand at the Rising Stones? Ah, yes, of course. You will be pleased to know that the 3rd Unit Braves abandoned Revenant's Toll once they learned of Captain Ilberd's defeat. The only blue uniforms to be seen now are worn by soldiers loyal to you, Master Alphinaud. Are we sure? To me? I see. I'm grateful to hear that at least some of our members were true to their oaths. But they were both hanging out at this Rising Stones together, and some of them left? Ere we return to Ishgard, I must go to the Rising Stones and thank these stalwarts for their service. It shall be my final act as Crystal Brave Commander. Will you join me, Erwin? You were there at the company's inception. 'Tis only fitting that you be present at its end. And I would appreciate the support. I would appreciate the support. And I would appreciate the support. Sometimes it'd be hard to hit a really specific emphasis. And I would appreciate the support. Yeah, I definitely find that challenging. I would appreciate the support. I'm not sure if that sounds good either. Whoa! You look at intriguing. Do you have eyes? Is that a mask? I guess it's a mask. It looked kind of like cream smooth skin, but I guess it's a mask. Wow, that look is fucking fresh. What are you wearing? Who are you wearing? A little spiky at the shoulders, perhaps. Verbertite tunic of Scion Traveler's jacket. Yeah, why is the corner there sweeping up and such? Look at that. That's goofy. It's a little feathery, but definitely overstarched. You want this etherite, you have to get by me first. What if we were to wear it? Please show the rest of our armor. You can see how urgent this all is for us. There it is. Can we dye it? What if we dyed it white? Oh yeah, that's pretty good. I wonder where that comes from. Is it the tunic of casting that it actually is? It's not the traveler's jacket. It is the. Huh. I wish it would be a little clearer as to which was which. I mean, I guess we could learn once and for all which one was Staff of the Demon. We could determine once and for all whether it was the first or second item that displays when you mouse over. That is the reflected look. Right now, if we looked it up. But we're not going to look it up right now. I may look it up after I'm done, depending on how I'm feeling. / if the memory stays with me at all. It's the crowd. It's the ex-Crystal Braves. Commander, you're alive. And Arwen, oh, was this the Johnny Depp character? And Arwen too, I knew you'd scrape through. I'm not proud of that one. My splendid Crystal Braves, I wronged you, all of you. My promises of glory and salvation have brought you naught but blood and betrayal. Bah, we'll not hear us complaining. 'Twas a slight messier than expected, aye, but it was fell fighting for the freedom of all, just like we swore. Ain't that right, mates? Mate? Aye. You humble me. I am truly blessed to have such steadfast companions. It is with the profoundest regret, then, that I must... That's enough of that, Commander. We know what you've a mind to say, and we ain't having none of it. We've talked it over, see, and we've all agreed. You can take our uniforms and strip us of our ranks, but we won't be no less of a company. But the Crystal Braves... The Crystal Braves may be finished, but the ideals upon which the company was founded live on. They bind us to each other. And to you. Commander, Alphinaud, our minds are made up, so you may as well get used to it. Let us help the science. Let us help you find Minfilia and the others. That seems like a good use for a bunch of, shall we say, secondary adventurers. Go scour the realms and find the vanished fellows. My friends, after all that's happened, I know not what to say. I mean, you achieved an awful lot, Alphinaud. Don't doubt it. Pray excuse me. I thought my tears spent. My grandfather used to say that one could measure a man by the constancy of his comrades. Mayhap I am the exception which proves the rule. Nay, do not protest. I know that I am not worthy of their loyalty, Erwin. But as Thaliak is my witness, I shall do everything in my power to earn it. Oof, level 55. We're closing in, folks. Alphinaud has matters to attend to at the Rising Stones. I must speak of future plans with the remaining Braves. Any information we uncover on the missing scions will need to be shared with our allies across the realm, specifically Urianger in the Waking Sands and Tataru in Ishgard. While we are organizing our various channels of communication, I would ask you to call upon Master Garland at the manufactory. I will join you in Ishgard as soon as I am able. Let's do it. Manufactory get. Yeah, it was a clean cut, but it was like a little too early. But I think early looks better than late. Oh, that's an odd warm pain on the top of my skull. I should suddenly die. Let this be my final message. I mean, I don't really have anything to report, just it inevitably will be.
We've been working on the second vessel while we perfected the prototype. Don't worry, you'll be able to handle the winds. They'll both be able to handle the winds you're expecting.
So sleepy. What? I'm awake. We should turn this down, I think. Unfortunately, we need to continue juggling audio. With the wonders of machinistry in their hands, a trained army of commoners could prove as effective as any company of knights. Thus, be you lowborn or highborn, we turn away none who profess an interest in learning the machinist trade. Yeah, I'm not really that interested in that right now.
Arwen, how in the 7Ls do you do it? I was just about to send for you. You but this moment completed the Mana Cutter's first successful test flight. A few minor adjustments and she'll be ready to go. While we see to the finishing touches, you might want to pay a visit to Fullerton Manor. A dragoon by the name of Estinian was looking for you. Loitering out here won't speed up matters. Leave the boys to apply the finishing touches and go see your friend.
Estinian got sick of waiting for us. That's a good look you got there. What's your name? Roses Delcroix. Delacroix is like a... Oh, this music is very dramatic for standing around town. Come on, take me over to talk to Estinian. He got tired of camping. He said on Facebook he could hunt forever. I believe it is the last vigil, is it not? What is Estinian's relationship with the Fantôme? Is it just that he knows that we're associated with them? That's kind of a nice axe. Welcome, Master Erwin. The classic line. Estinian. You have fulfilled your obligations to the Eldars, then? Mistress Tataru has been keeping me apprised of the situation. Once I learned that these mana cutters of Master Garlands were nearing completion, I saw no reason to tarry in the mists. For the present, Nidhogg seems content to remain in the Eyrie, plotting his revenge. Might not this be an apt moment to unfold our plans to Sir Emmerich? I think we've kept him in the dark long enough. We have to tell him? I mean, I have no idea where I stand on all this. Clearly, I am just kind of opposed to everything that we've got going on. I don't want to throw in with the dragons, honestly. Maybe. It kind of seems like it might be very hard. I actually embraced the plan that I mentioned at the time when whatever dragon boss his name was told us the story. We should seek to purge the stolen draconic essence from these folks' bloodlines is what we should fucking do. Perhaps then Nidhogg might be able to, if not forget and not forgive, at least find a new fucking hobby. Sir Emmerich's been eager to speak with you. Pray proceed. The seat of the Lord Commander. Here we are.
All stands ready, Lord Commander.
You have such a dramatic way about you, Estinian.
has come then.
Pray excuse my lateness. I paid a brief visit to the workshop to inquire about the mana cutters. The engineers assure me that they're ready.
The area is now but a short flight away. Yet what a long and winding path we took to reach this point. Were it not for Master Alphinaud's proposal, we never would have attempted to parley with the dragons. Though our negotiations yielded little, our expedition with Lady Isar taught us much.
It is impressive that it hasn't in any way shaken your ideological position here. I understand you have a personal investment in these things.
I could scarce believe the tale Estinian told.
Please believe it. I view the world in
It is
recordings.
true that many of our countrymen would sooner die than join hands with the heretic's mistress. But 'twas through that most unlikely of alliances that we came to speak with Hraesvelgr.
Hraesvelgr, that's the guy whose name we couldn't
Conversation
remember.
that went rather poorly, as I recall.
In this instance, the journey was more important than the destination. Had we not slain Nidhogg's consort, Tiamat, and put the Great Worm on his guard, the Dravanians would have arrived at Ishgard's walls long ago.
That's an interesting way to view it. I guess Estinian was just pleased that he got to cut down the broodmother.
For every hour of respite your actions have afforded us. Thanks to you, our defenses are much improved. 'Tis but a pity they won't be enough.
Thus, you believe an assault upon the area represents the city's best chance of survival. Is that not so, Estinian?
I am under no illusions. Nidhogg's might is legendary. But with his eye in my possession, I can stifle his strength at the source.
That's right. Under the
Victory will
merciful
be hard,
pillow
even so.
of Swishy
And I
Eyeball.
should be glad indeed to have the Warrior of Light at my side.
Well, if you're gonna flatter me that way, how can I possibly
You shall
say
have my blade as
no?
well. There are more of these mana cutters to be had, yes?
Oh wait, will we get to bring Emmerich with us?
Lord Commander, no.
I don't think Emmerich is
I,
there.
a proud knight of Ishgard, stand by and do naught while an outsider risks life and limb for our homeland. I swore an oath to protect this city.
Don't embarrass yourself by saying you have a responsibility to do this out loud, because you're not going to be able to.
To dragoons, Sir Knight. Your duty to command the city's defense is no less vital.
But I heard there was a second eyeball.
Slip through our grasp. Who then will hold the walls against him? Will you leave Ishgard in the hands of the Holy Sea's zealots?
Ooh, it's nice to hear Estinian be a little...
There are others.
Who but you has the authority and the standing to orchestrate a city-wide defense? I do not, and neither does the Warrior of Light. That is why it is our place to fight, and yours to remain here, Lord Commander. What? You too, Master Alphino? By the Fury. You have shown some promise, but this adversary is far beyond your skills.
I'm just trailing in your wake. Good shot.
Your candor is appreciated, Ser Dragoon. I shall remain then and cheer you from afar.
Well, my friend, 'twould seem I have discouraged the last of the volunteers, and claimed the task as ours alone. But if any alive can best this worm, 'tis surely we too.
I mean... Yeah, definitely. You were very important to this process, Estinian. It's definitely not just gonna be, you know, me and my over-leveled sword all by myself. Speak with Estinian, ready to fly. I've pricked Master Alphino's pride, I fear, but had I been as forceful, the boy would have insisted on accompanying us to the Eyrie. Do not think me blind to his talent. With a few more campaigns under his belt, I have no doubt that Alphino would make a fine field commander. But he does not practice on an adversary such as Nidhogg. We should be hard-pressed enough without the added worry of carrying Endovis. Estinian is a toxic raid leader, is what he is. Into the Eyrie. We have tarried long enough. Let us call upon Master Garland to take possession of the Manicados. Sure. Back down to Sidsburg. Near enough. I don't think I need to move my hand to do this. Pause. Ooh. Artsy agnostic omnist. Ain't it Omnian? Back to the Sky Cell Manufactory. Did I click the right one? I did not. I don't think. No, maybe I did. The sort of multiple motifs going on in this track are... they don't quite feel layered, right? I'm sure that's not the case. Who am I to say? Wait, Sid is outside, but Sid... I guess he's at the bay. The moment is at hand, Warrior of Light. I guarantee you won't find any loose rivets. We triple checked.
These little beauties are our pride and joy, and now they're yours. So, be careful with them, eh?
Sid.
Little Arwen, old friend. The cat is ready when you are. The fine...
Wait, no, that's Wedge.
The finer adjustments cost us a few sleepless nights, but we got there in the end.
Which means you can go where you need to go. I tell you, these little beauties will tear through that wind barrier like a cement drill through cottage cheese.
Cermet drill.
And that, my friend, is a Garland Ironworks guarantee.
You have our thanks, come, Warrior of Light. The dread worm awaits. Spooky. Well, let's wait, what? I was gonna crank the music up. Maybe it already is at 10. I don't think so, though. I think it's at 5. Or are we just thinking about it? I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to queue. Yeah, okay. We just thought about it, I guess. Sure, why not? Use the duty finder to enter the Eyrie. Alright, we're gonna crank that music volume. So, as usual, we have no idea where that's going to land. It could be considerably too loud, but then what do I ever have to say? Actually, let's turn it back down again. Sensing the death of his consort, a wary Nidhogg has surrounded his lair with a wall of tempestuous winds. After calling upon the assistance of Cid and his ingenious engineers, though, you and Estinian are now ready to breach this howling barrier on the wings of their latest airship prototype, the Mana Cutter. Join the Azure Dragoon on this, the greatest of worm hunts, and mount a direct assault upon the Eyrie. Only with the death of Nidhogg can you ensure the preservation of Ishgard, and bring an end to the Dragon Song War. Oop. Sounds good to me. Crank that volume. Let's step inside. Actually, not sure it sounds good. I mean, we're killing an eternal creature just because he wants to keep humanish people living in fear for countless generations. The problem with arguing that a child does not own the sins of the fathers is that the child does have to not continually relitigate them and reperpetrate them and deny them deliberately for that to be true. Oof. Big bombs. Do you think that when dragons do this that it's like Firaga? Oh, damn. Estinian interrupted. Out of the sky with you. Wicked mortals, I shall melt your flesh and turn your bones to ash. Yeah, I mean, that does seem likely at this point. You're an intimidating figure. On the other hand, you're not a god. And we've killed like 12 of those at this point. More like 7. Hey, it's a convenient landing spot. I guess this place did once have the Eyrie. I guess this place did once have Elazid inhabitants, right? So not completely wild to think that it could be made with humanoids in mind, or at least with accommodation for humanoids available. So we're just gonna sprint on through here, I think. We've got nothing to prove. Looks like there's some shattered architecture floating over there as well, not just natural stone. All of you can just come right along. Oh, can we like see the world below us? Kind of seems like not. I guess we are enshrouded in fog here by definition. Looks like the path forward is stopped. What's over here? There's nothing in this cubby. Maybe there's a randomly spawning chest or something and we just didn't get it. Or maybe chests don't spawn with non-matched, non-level synced parties. Down with all of you, please. That's right. We've got a heartbeat sensor bramble patch over here. Let's watch it go. Whoa. Damn. Okay, I like that. I'm pro lightning. Fucking cloud chasers. Alright. Just come along, boyos. This is, badly in need of a gardener. I think the dragons have been neglecting maintenance in a serious way. It was really the source of the original conflict between Elazid and dragons, is arguments over whether or not there should be HOAs in Gravana. We gotta watch more closely when that happens. I want to see it in its full spark. Like a coliseum shattered in the sky. It doesn't even look like it would fit together. Like if it's not just missing pieces, it's been twisted and twirled around, which means that it is not all that stable. Yeah. Electric cachexia. This guy like summons stuff. It's odd. Looks like we got all our dots on the boy. All our dots, I mean our one dot, whatever they meant was we'd blown our cooldowns and are now in every man for himself mode. What was our binding for that? It's not gonna matter, we're not gonna be able to use it. I think it was Shift C. Atonement, yes it was indeed. I was like, penance? It's not called penance, right? No, it's called atonement. Oh, I see. I was like, why does our head look funny? It was because we were looking at that chest. Is this a drop? Yeah, I know this place. Just let me through, why don't you? This is a big old cavern with like a spider web motif. I can't say that I really understand that. Do dragons spin webs? I guess the dragons maybe don't. I'm gonna have to Google that. Are Final Fantasy XIV dragon spiders? Someone out there has given this thought. I'm very confident. We cut open each of them in turn. That's right, just come all the way along. Puff. Oh, that's a wind wall. Thought it was some kind of enemy particle effect, but I think it is actually just the elements themselves as twisted by Nidong. Interesting that he wraps the Aerie in wind. Is he just a generally powerful sorcerer, or is he particularly associated with wind ether? Minus sleep. I don't know if the dragons have elemental associations in general, or if they differ. I mean, I guess if you're flying, you'd hope to be aspected with air. And if you're breathing fire, you'd hope to be a little bit volcanic inside. It would be an interesting torture technique in this universe, right? Is to take a creature with natural weapons of an elemental alignment and then diminish that creature's alignment with that element so that the natural weapons start harming them within their own body. That's gruesome. I can only think of gruesome things for Final Fantasy XIV. Always the grotesque. Hey, it's clearer up here. Maybe. Very apex. Can't remember if I talked about this on the recording, but my latest thought for this guy's got a cool nose, or oh no, he's got like a weird open mouth. Never mind, I don't like that after all. It's goofy. Fall of man. That's a strong statement. But the story concept that I like is that I'm really interested in the idea of what primals know. Because, like, if you had a myth cycle about a primal in a culture, and part of it was that they were omniscient, if you summon that primal, could you ask it any question and get an accurate answer? It's hard to know. I mean, I think at best, it seems likely that it would know what the culture knew, but maybe not. It can do things that the culture can't do. Why can't it know things that the culture can't know? And I like the idea of the Garleans scouring the world in search of some community that had a divinity like that on hand, and then putting immense pressure on them until they summon their primal, then grabbing it and sticking it in a basement, or maybe sticking it in like a... Yeah, what they would do is they would have gone and salvaged a fragment of Ultima's housing, and then they would have that in some dungeon facility. I think that tower's gonna fall. And they would just be locking the primal in there and tormenting it to use as an intelligence asset. Yeah, I really think that one's pretty strong. Maybe not the Garleans, because the Garleans hate primals, but then again, the Garleans went and took the primals for Ultima. I guess that was specifically von Baelsar's arrogance. Yikes. Step carefully. Do you think Izela would think that these these pillars were statues of her as well? Just keep moving, boys. Oh, well, I think we're at the end of our traversal. This thing where Final Fantasy XIV doesn't let you pull the entire dungeon at once is very good design, and it makes me sad. I mean, you can still do... I don't think there's ever, or at least not often. Usually, you can do more than one pull at a time, which is probably adequate. It still means that there's a difference in terms of the challenge you can set for yourself and the speed that you'll get out of it, while not allowing for just an infinitely upscaling increase in completion speed in the World of Warcraft style. There is something fun about that, but it really creates just bad shit in the community. Like everyone always wanting to sprint ahead forever. Not really good, I don't think. Not healthy. So here we've got a little horde event, appropriately enough. Cut them down. This is interesting. So these eggs have portals in them? I don't think they're targetable or anything, so we can't get a name. Airy Vouivre. Vouivre. Ivre is drunk. Vou in that context? I don't think that's what's going on here. Oh, interesting. So those ethereal eggs popped. And then these little dudes came out. So I guess... Is that the end of the event? I thought there was more. I guess not. So it wasn't just waves. They were actually all kind of present in a clear way. It was like the Vouivres. I look at Vouivre. Maybe that means broodmother. Vouivre. A Guivre is a mythical creature similar to a dragon. Okay, it's just another word for dragon. Oh, Guivre, like a... Guivre. What? No monologues? Come on. It's Nidhogg. I must enfeeble the worm with his eye. Strike while he is weak. Impudent mortal, you would use mine own eye against me. I would tremble at my fury. The Scarlet Price. Unfortunately, you leave me little choice. I don't know why I dropped an AoE there. That wasn't necessary. I wonder if you can no-phase him. Nope. My patience for your incessant struggling doth falter. Succumb now to the might of a great worm. Such unthinkable power, I must use the eye to shield us. Protect me while I draw forth his strength. Attend me, my kindred. Slay these treacherous children of men. You must slay these minions. Yeah, I did this one legit a little while ago, and there was an awful lot of not healing Astidian in this phase, which was a problem. Fortunately, being the paladin that we are, that's a tool in our kit. You all slay these minions, they're all dead. I guess that would come in. Ale. Estinian, did you see that Ale was looking for you? Liberated. Vulnerability up. You must slay these minions. Oh, one more minion. Stop it, Oshkin. Or Osk. I don't know why I saw Oshkin. Slay these treacherous children of men. 'Tis done, I am prepared. Another exciting thing I've encountered here was a tank running directly out of this shield. My rage will consume you. Just before the blast hit. Just stumbled on out. Stayed in it at first, and then for the blast went in. The dragon's eye is limiting Nidhogg's strength. I'm sorry, big man. But it did have to be this way. Oh, that's interesting. So we didn't kill him, we just chased him off. Into the sky. Can we talk to Estinian? Estinian, you seem tapped. Bien your guard is yet close. This isn't over. I think something very bad may happen in the cutscene that may be to come. But I don't remember, so let's find out together. Ooh, he's coming back. Meow. Eyeball. I'm eyeball. Whoa. That texture doesn't upscale its resolution all that well. Thou wouldst use mine own eye against me. Time hath done naught to dilute thy kind's depravity. I've not forgotten thee, Dragoon. Mine essence claimed thee once, and shall do so again. Whoa.
This ends here.
That's right, Estinian. Make some trouble. Shring. Ooh. Estinian, he needed that to think with. Oh boy. Oh no. It's a problem. He wasn't this tall to ride the ride. Estinian's taking his life in his hands. His life and the ooh, that's a good Those faces were both incredible. Whoop. Sorry, buddy. Poof. The dragons disappear like Heartless when slain, huh? Are dragons but dragons are not primals, I know that much. Oh boy. Hey, you know that thing that was causing all those problems?
Now I gift you an eternity in darkness.
I'm not sure that's the correct interpretation of what's happened here, Estinian. I'm not sure the triumphant music is appropriate. Also, your armor is red now. We're gonna get a crystal for that. This is gonna be the second time we did something terrible and get crystallized. I'm pretty sympathetic to Nidhogg here, dude. Like, not so sure about all of this. I think we're seeing an ancient vision now. Oh no, Our traitorous assault on the dragon left some of us harmed. This is the American attitude, right? I went to murder them, and I only killed 44,000 of them, and they killed 3 of me, and so we have to level all their cities. Yeah, Ishgard is basically the United States. The United States, if the United States had any enemies that were capable of harming it in any way.
They are ours, Lord Eldrath. The eyes of Nidhogg.
Aye. The worm lies broken and my father is avenged. With the wellspring of his vitality thus denied him. Nidhogg shall not linger long in this world. But behold the terrible price we have paid. My sire is dead. So many brother knights slain.
Maybe we should not have done this.
Honor for the strength which now courses in our veins. And still we are forced to make such sacrifice.
Yeah, they do sound very much like an American.
Not in vain, my lord. Hraesvelgr is the only great worm left in Dravania, and he dares not leave his lair.
Was it a problem to have them there?
Eyes in your possession, who now can challenge the might of Ishgard, ascend the throne, and take your rightful place as the ruler of our people.
Standing there holding 2 bleeding eyeballs. Stick them in the pouches.
Nay, my friend.
Stow them away.
I must forsake the mantle of king. Though Nidhogg be defeated, his wormling horde yet darkens the skies with wings beyond counting.
Which was not a problem until 15 minutes ago when we murdered his sister for no reason.
It shall be my penance to bear a knight's arms until death grants me leave to retire. When that day comes, no prince shall perish, but a hell's-bound hunter of dragons.
I mean, at least you're willing to punish yourself for the bad thing that you've done. Will continue to do.
Without a king, who will the common man turn to in his hour of need? How will he find his way without your benevolent hand to guide him?
How about a complex series of loyalty oaths and a weirdo fucking religion?
Thank you, Sir Flavian and Sir Silvertrill, for dispelling my remaining doubts. With men of such wisdom and compassion in service to the realm, it is plain that Ishgard has no need of a king.
Oh man, these people are fucking nightmares.
If you must bow to the demands of tradition, you need look no further than yourselves for one worthy to wear the crown.
Jesus, this is dire.
Fare thee well, my brother knights, my loyal friends. On these shoulders shall I bear the weight of my father's sins. With this lance shall I repay the debt accrued through our misdeeds.
That is actually never going to happen. You should just not have done the misdeeds, and having done them, you should have stopped doing them instead of then going and doubling down on them and saying that the pain that you suffered in consequence of your misdeeds is justification for further misdeeds. Ooh.
Have we seized this desperate victory only to lose a king?
We can but act as our lord has bid. We few who remain must divide between us the rulership of Ishgard and her people.
We simply have no choice.
Not I. My oath was to Lord Haldrath and he alone. If he is not to be king, then I would hang up my shield as well.
So who's this
You abandon us
dude?
too, sir?
I would wash my hands of blood and betrayal and take up an honest trade. Mayhap I shall serve ale instead of sharpened steel.
I wonder what that could be pointing at. Anybody know any that's a really nice sword, damn. Anybody know of any 1,000-year-old bars around here?
We four, then.
Forton, Hylanat, Dyrendare, and Zemail. But 4 houses to rule all of Ishgard.
Ishgard is
What
one
of the
city,
throne?
dude.
We keep it empty. Until the day a king rises once more, we must assume the role of stewards. We shall shape our nation anew with a history of our own making, and let the truth of this dark day die here.
Yeah, that, great. Estinian, you're spooky looking now. Why did you change color? Why did you change color?
Born witness to history, to the culmination of the first battle with Nidhogg.
Yeah, it doesn't paint your people in a very good light, and this tradition that you've just did is...
tells that our ancestors were led to the land of Kurthus by the valiant King Thordan.
Shut the fuck up, dude. You are
Their journey, they came to a wide chasm.
He's not gonna
where they
listen.
were set upon by a great worm, Nidhogg. A furious battle then ensued, with Thordan leading the van.
Yeah,
Though the brave
okay.
king was slain defending his people, his son, Haldrath, the first Azure Dragoon, fought on undaunted.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it was.
And with a mighty thrust of his lance, he gouged out Nidhogg's eye, forcing the wicked creature into retreat. Thus, did this eldritch orb become a sacred treasure of Ishgard, lending its power to every knight deemed worthy to bear the title of Azure Dragoon. A rousing tale, is it not? Would that I could still believe it. But your vision, which we must accept as immutable truth, leaves no room for doubt, save on one point. If Haldrath took both of Nidhogg's eyes, then how came this eye to be lodged in the worm's skull?
Can't imagine. You're giving it to me? I don't want this. Dude. What do I do with all these eyeballs?
Beneath every answer we unearth, another question lies buried.
Yeah, I wonder if we've seen any one-eyed dragons around lately. I wonder if that has been a thing that we spoke to like 45 minutes ago in game time. An hour, 90 minutes. Anyway, we've definitely met a one-eyed dragon. Hreysvelgr was one short.
'Twas a fierce battle, but one I knew we would win. Your fame is well deserved, warrior of light. Full proud am I to have fought at your side. I would fain return with all swiftness to Ishgard to inform the Lord Commander of our triumph. But we must first have words with Hreysvelgr. There are parts of this tale that the worm has kept from us, and I would know wherefore.
Maybe he didn't know his shit. I mean, he's a big, scary dragon, and at least you are a genocidal maniac driven by vengeance. Hreysvelgr doesn't have to tell us anything. The Nidhogg is fallen, my heart is yet heavy, inexplicable. And the stain of corruption pleases me not. When all has been put to rest, I needs must forge my armor anew. Well, I was gonna call it there, but if we're just gonna go shout at Hreysvelgr, we should take a look at that. The song begins, the origin of Nidhogg's mysterious eye. With Nidhogg fallen, none save Hreysvelgr remain to answer our questions. Let us trouble the worm again, and if Iceheart yet lingers at zenith, all the better. I would have her hear the truth from the dragon's maw. So it sure feels like Estinian has just, for all intents and purposes, replicated the original sin of his forefathers that caused this 1,000 years of conflict in the first place. I mean, is that a fair read? It's close enough. He may not have done it explicitly and only to steal power. He may have had a more personal connection to the killing he was doing than the old lords did. But one way or the other, the last time this happened, it didn't go well. It did not go well. Was the sky this dramatic before, or is this a lightning storm weather event, or is something amiss with the fall of Nidhogg? Zenith. Oh yeah, we have to go up. Or you don't have to go very far up, right? I think do we actually just meet him right there? That's goofy that we meet him right there as the top when there's this other top. Did we actually check out the other top when we were here last time, or did we just think about it? Let's check it out. Feels appropriate to the moment in a way that, I don't know, maybe it is choosing this based on where we are in the MSQ, actually. Since she scarce moves, she has scarce moved since we last parted. Hreysvelgur's confession will soon shake her from her stupor. Confession to what? That he gave Nidhogg his eye back? I guess the argument that what Estinian is saying is that Nidhogg could not have pursued his campaign without Hreysvelgur's eye. I guess that's the accusation. Go fuck yourself. Dude, Estinian, you're the worst. 'Twas you, was it not? The furious screams of the dragons carried far. You have slain Nidhogg. What more could you desire from this place? Will you not allow Hreysvelgur to mourn the death of his kin in peace? Spare us your sanctimonious judgment, Ice Maiden. We have a gift for the Grey Worm, and a mystery that can no longer lie buried. Lady Iceheart, the Dragon Song War has all but consumed your life and claimed many of your followers. 'Tis time you learn the truth of his beginning, the old truth, that we may at last bring this bitter conflict to an end. Sound the horn, warrior of light. Yeah, I suspect that when we hand over the eye to Hreysvelgur, he's just going to take up Nidhogg's place, don't you? I think that's probably what's about to happen. I don't think you're guaranteed Hreysvelgur to remain neutral after you go and murder. I mean, I think this is all perfectly understandable from Estinian. My frustration is not with how he's written, but with him as a man. Imagine thinking that you knew that you could do a single thing to set the world right, and then you do that thing. And, you know, how would you feel after that? This bat nose is so goofy. Impenitent mortals, ever seeking to bury old wrongs under new. Yep. That's to say, they have a lot of advance. I did sense the moment of Nidhogg's demise.
You mean the moment I prized your eye from his head?
Okay, he did figure it out. He wasn't confused. He was just being like, I wonder. And obviously, he came back to Hreysvelgur. It would seem thou hast uncovered my secret. Unto the blinded Nidhogg I did yield one half of my strength. It's a good thing they're modular. They're USBIs. I guess they're like purely energetic eyes. Maybe it's better to think of them as gemstones. Maybe they're not squishy. His eyes, the way they focus outward like that is a little, he looks cross-eyed. Or, you know, outward cross-eyed. Uh-oh. I think a full-strength Hraesvelgr might feel a little differently. Thud. I'm gonna have a voiced dialogue between two things that don't speak. Nidhogg, what hath befallen thee? No eye sickness. We are undone by covetous mortals. They did take Ratatosker's eyes and glut their appetites upon her essence. She is slain then. What madness hath unmade our peaceful accord? Did I not warn thee, Bloodbrother? They have ever been untrustworthy creatures, these short-lived Alizen. Their differing designs are really cool. But thou wert enchanted by thy mortal maid. Thy folly hath cost Ratatosker her life, and me mine eyes. Oh, my beloved Shiva, how swiftly are they kin made bestial by their appetites. Hraesvelgr, 'twas thy blindness that invited disaster to our lands. Surrender thee an eye to me, and let that be thy penance. Does that work? Nidhogg. They bested me once, but I was reckless. I shall need but a single eye to inflict enduring torment upon these traitors, and every child of their line. Yield to me thy strength, Bloodbrother. This is goofy. It's cool though. My vengeance is begun. Meow. Meow. Dragons are just hard cats. You know, here's a sort of large sentiment. Don't commit crimes against immortal creatures, and don't attempt to judge the forgiveness of immortal creatures the way that you judge your own. All of our concepts of justice and fair play, that was borne witness to a scene from my past. All of our concepts of justice and fair play are really founded on the idea that a person is going to die. For example, life in prison. An egregious thing to do, I think. But much more egregious if your subject is immortal. You really can't take human-scale concepts of justice and expect the eternal to regard them in a similar way. So don't offend the dragon. Maybe don't commit sororicide on the dragon. That's not, I think that's when you kill your own sister, not when you kill someone else's sister. Don't do these things to them. One may well consider them justified in continuing to harm you forever, because when you harm a human being, you're only harming them for 80 years or so. You harm one of these folks, sure does last.
It was yours. Your strength that sustained Nidhogg all these years.
But why are you upset about that, Izela?
Would that Haldreth had dealt the worm a killing blow.
I mean, I understand why, but, itchy. I understand why she wants to think of Hraesvelgr as not giving in. My blood brother did appear before me, bloody and blinded. His life was all but spent. He demanded half my vigor that he might exact his revenge upon the mortals who had wronged us.
And so you acquiesced. You surrendered your eye to Nidhogg, knowing full well the suffering he would inflict.
Who gives a shit? Who cares? Ishgard is terrible. They should all be destroyed, honestly. Like, what? Who cares? The peace my beloved so dearly desired had been shattered by her own kin. Their treachery claimed my brood sister's life and my brood brother's reason. Thinkest thou thy fits of indignation will move me to remorse? Yeah, you don't much like being told that you're not right, do you, Izela? That it's worse than you imagined. Go, mortals, take your unruly passions and leave this place. Your presence here spelleth naught but misery. I guess the right way to understand Izela is someone who refuses to understand why the United States has a negative relationship with the rest of the world. Like someone who aggressively decides that it is misunderstandings and not the hideous wrongdoing of the American Empire that creates the image that we have where we are deservedly unpopular. She is unable to reckon with the fact that her culture is simply irreconcilably responsible for something that cannot easily be redressed. Certainly not while they generally refuse to know. And the fact that she is shocked that one of the good ones, the one that she's been able to talk to, does also harbor these feelings is also very reflective of real life, where even people who will tolerate the United States still have a much deeper understanding of our terrible behavior in their neighborhoods than we, as a rule, do ourselves. Go, mortals. Take your unruly passions and leave this place. Your presence here spelleth naught but misery. It's funny to think that the rest of the world is essentially a reservoir of history that the United States refuses not entirely to write down but to repeat about our misdeeds. Were it not for Shiva's soothing embrace, I would slay you where you stand. Woe betide you should the bond we share ever weaken. Well then, it is, and I cannot stress this enough, hard to see how they're gonna wriggle their way out of this one. And thus did betrayal beget unending vengeance. Yeah, because you betrayed an unending creature. That's the problem here. Like, it's really an important piece of your calculation. 56. We're getting real close, folks. See you soon.